give some hint on the groundwater situation in Africa, more or less, and then the groundwater management challenges, and also some opportunities to improve the situation, and then a kind of way forward. Conclusion, as a conclusion. Setting the scene. Just some facts and figures on groundwater in Africa. As it was already said, groundwater is a key source of water for drinking and for water supply and also for irrigation in most of Africa. Approximately half of the nearly 1 billion people in Africa rely upon groundwater for their daily water supply. And also, it was also said, groundwater is one of the major support for the resilience towards climate change. We had one former president in Senegal, during the period of the drought, he started drilling a lot of wells. And all through the country they called him Mr. Forage, which means Mr. Driller. And also groundwater is indispensable to manage water scarcity. And this is very common in many of African countries. And also groundwater plays a fundamental role in some of the river basins. As you know. The groundwater use has been already said, but what I wanted to highlight here is that if you look at this map, most of the major African cities are on the coastal zone. And all these cities rely very much on groundwater. And as you know, with the overexploitation, they are confronted with seawater intrusion. There are a lot of seawater intrusion problems all along this African coast. The challenges, first of all, the major challenge is related to the geological setting, where you have a lot of basement aquifers, basement rocks, and you know the difficulties to drill and to find water in this kind of aquifer systems, together with consolidated sedimentary rocks. We have only 22% of unconsolidated sediments and volcanic rocks. As you look at the map, you see that we have most of the basement rocks. So it is very difficult to find water. And it is very frequent to see drilling where it is dry. So a lot of investment doing exploration, geophysics, and so on, so are necessary to tackle this. Due to this hydrogeological complexity, we will have difficulties in terms of flow, in terms of storage, and as you see, for instance, if you take the crystalline basement, you will have small storage, and only some of the major alluvial formations and the consolidated sedimentary aquifers can have enough large storage. So if you want to summarize, then we can say that the system is mainly characterized by low-yielding aquifers, limited storage and little recharge, with high depths of occurrence. And above all, the aquifers are poorly mapped, characterized and understood. Also, I need to maybe highlight the efforts that have been done recently with the British group, with the BGS. They have published some maps with a very large publicity, saying that there is a lot of water in Africa, but this needs really to, the efforts have been done, but this needs to be given some limitation. It's very important to be very careful on that. And the good thing is they put a lot of publicity on this paper. But just after, one of our late colleagues, Professor Dr. Mike Enmuth, published a paper related to that, but very few publicity is given to this paper. One big problem also is the water quality problem. As I already indicated, most of the cities are coastal and at pollution is through water, but also you have the sanitation problem, which is very common to much of the larger cities. And just here I'm giving the case of Lusaka, where you see that all these blue dots are boreholes, or at least wells, and next to each well you have a pit latrine. And you see the kind of situation. And because this is very interesting in Lusaka, where it is very karstic. It's a karstified area. And this is the question. Another important aspect is that you have, how to call it, intensive abstraction on groundwater, and you have decline of water levels. Everywhere nearly in Africa, this is experimented when you have a decline of water levels. We have also these transboundary aquifers. Neno talked about it yesterday. And you see that throughout Africa we have 77 transboundary systems. And these systems need to be managed well. I'm not going to we have heard a lot about the transboundary aquifers since the 2 days. And of course you have the impact of climate change on groundwater resources. Also this was already highlighted yesterday also. So you see that groundwater is often delayed at different time scales. You think that it is not acting on groundwater, but due to the limitation of the recharge and to the pressure on groundwater, at the end of the day, the climate change will impact on groundwater. Either by decline of water, but you will, in some cases, you will also have the reverse. You can have rising levels and you will have some inundation, some flooding. Having said that, there are efforts to really try to tackle this problem and to improve the groundwater situation in Africa. And I think one important aspect is the fact that groundwater has been put over the last years high on the political agenda through the conference of the Minister of African Water in Africa, and they have created the African Groundwater Commission to really boost the groundwater situation. Just quickly. Efforts are already being also done through different investigations. In each country, in each universities, you have teams tackling problems like recharge rate, quantifications, recharge area, groundwater protection, and so on and so on. And at the end of the day, what is important is a lot of reflection is being made to really better understand our aquifer systems and to better manage them. So together, these are more or less what is needed to improve the situation, to establish groundwater databases, to provide information management, to reduce and so on and so on. And efforts are already being put everywhere. And another important aspect also is to improve the recharge in many areas, efforts are being done to manage recharge, artificial recharge, through ponding, through dams, and so on and so on and so on. This was also mentioned yesterday by Neno. There is a good effort through the top UNF, Jeff, UN top, and UNESCO. And for instance, I was coordinating activities in Africa related to this project. And we came up with a new map for Western, Central, and East Africa, Southern and Eastern Africa, whereby we provide a better delineation of these the transboundary aquifers and coming to better understanding of some situations. This is, for instance, for Western Central Africa, the new delineations of the maps. You see here, this is the Tau Deni. You have the Senegal River basin, Senegal Maastrichtian, and so on and so on. To ensure sustainability for development groundwater, I feel there are several aspects. First of all, we need to better characterize and protect the groundwater, so understanding of groundwater system, knowing the unit systems and so and so, and also to work out for innovative and technical solutions to better drill holes, have more productive boreholes and so and so. We need also an enabling environment through legal policies and so, and efforts are being made through the integrated water resource management. In every country there are efforts, and this has been, I think, highlighted yesterday by Seifu. Everything is not already done, but the efforts are being done towards this direction, and also to involve all the stakeholders. As it was mentioned, groundwater, water as a whole is for the whole society, and all the stakeholders should be implicated. One good effort also is linked to building capacity. Human resources is very important, and we have a lot of efforts being done in all universities. You have a groundwater department, hydrogeology department, and doctoral programs. You have also engineering schools, which efforts are being done, and also you have a lot of international collaboration through different stakeholders. And lastly, there is, for instance, this book, which was produced by the group cabinet for groundwater management in the context of IWM. To sum up, just to say that sustainable groundwater management requires a good understanding of the groundwater system based on data collected through monitoring programs and groundwater assessment studies research. The groundwater data needs to be stored, analyzed, and presented using appropriate information management systems to facilitate decision-making by various stakeholders. The above need to be supported by relevant policies, laws, institutions, and capacity building programs. I thank you for your attention.